Content warning. Echo can be an emotionally intense experience and may not be for everyone. Echo contains themes of an adult nature, including violence, torture, drug usage, and harsh language. Viewer discretion is advised. No, how can... What? The car lurches as Leo slows down again. I squint my eyes, attempting to peer past the glare of the headlights reaching into the darkness beyond, but I don't see anything, just the road stretching ahead of us. From the back seat, Chase's croaking, high-pitched voice pipes up. What's wrong? Leo's quiet for a moment. His face is blank, ears twitching. Don't worry about it, daughter. Just a little distracted, that's all. That's a fucking understatement. Why do we stop? TJ sounds panicked, and the Lynx turned around in his seat, and he stares out the black window. It's the first time I've seen him in a car without his seatbelt on. Leo is silent, his vacant expression contorting to brief flickers of confusion. He's looking to the mountains that surround Echo Canyon. Wait, I know what you mean. Jenna scoots forward at the edge of her seat, pointing at something outside. The hills were on our right side a while ago. We must have looped around. But we've been going in a straight line this whole time. The only way we'd be going back is if we got turned around when we hit the main highway. But we haven't hit the main highway, have we? Chase presses his furry cheek against the window, his tired eyes bulging. What in the goddamn... He trails off. So we just seamlessly transition from going one way to the other without any of us noticing? That is Cudso's line. No, Leo must have gotten off and turned around that side road that There's no way. Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Was that a real honk?
That was a real honk. He slaps the steering wheel hard and a honk rings out and echoing throughout the valley desert scrub beyond the guardrail. TJ grasps, digging his claws back in the fabric seat. Same, TJ. Please don't do that. Let's be quiet, okay? Leo, we're going the wrong way. Jenna speaks as calmly as possible, clearly aware of the wolf's added mental state, but also the fact that... Okay. The fact that she's now holding Duke's pistol. Leo brings back the car around to a hard stop, throwing me forward into the seatbelt. Then he does a quick three-point turn, shoving me right then left before I smack back into the seat as Leo accelerates again. I heard a soft thunk of flesh on glass, then a groan from the back, Chase rubbing his face with a sore-looking nose. Injury upon injury. You okay? No. He responds back hoarsely, sinking back further into the scratchy fabric of the seat. Oh, same. Daxter does a curt nod. Leo is sitting upright, only moving with rigid like a goddamn automaton. We both stare out the windshield, eyes to the horizon. Leo doesn't want any talking, so we're all quiet. Even in the silence, I can feel the growing unease from those behind us, the trembling of muscles and clicking of claws. I try to block it out, to just focus on watching what's ahead. All the things considered, it's not as bad as long as I can keep the fear from clouding my mind. Though that would be said about most things in life. We just have to keep driving to get out of this fucking town. We can't get sidetracked again, especially with that fucking eyeless thing around. I wonder if it heard the horn earlier. I focus on the mountains now, making sure that they don't disappear. They slope down and gently under the moonlight, speckled with the dark spots of the rock and vegetation. Vaguely, I remember back when I was younger, leading Sydney around the bend and entertaining his explorer fantasies. I brought my BB gun and he'd run around shooting at mesquites, trees, and looking for signs of lost native treasure. I told him that the pioneers thought there was a city of gold buried beneath the mountain's topsoil, waiting to be unearthed. He fucking loved that. Even brought a little trench shovel, as he put it, dig his own mine. Pretty sure he thought that was the whole reason for Echo's old mine, to find the city and shit. It wasn't a complete lie either. The Ahakte tribe supposedly told the conquistador types that treasures and riches were stored aplenty in the Mesta territory around here centuries ago. Of course, it was so they'd fuck off and bother their rivals instead of them, but the prospectors did eventually find the gold in the mountains. All Sid ever found was some feldspar and alabaster quartz. He kept the whole collection. I blinked, staring out the window as the mountain just disappeared, sloped down into nothing. I squint and I look out Chase's window in the back. Sure enough, mountains. Leo, don't worry about it. Leo speeds up instead of turning around though. Dude, what are you doing? TJ's claws come out against my skin as he gets that scared cat look in his eyes. Leo mumbles mostly to himself. We're just confused. There's no way this leads back to Echo. Leo, slow down a little. Leo lets out a small growl and instinctively clutches my I instinctively clutch my rifle a little tighter. This is getting out of hand, but I, honest to God, don't have a fucking better idea. I'm just gonna keep going until I see that car we passed. The tone in Leo's voice keeps any of those in the back from arguing, though I hate to admit it. Something about his demeanor actually shuts me up as well. Another minute of driving, more awkward silence, then Leo hisses through his teeth. Straight ahead of us, a sign. What? How in the shit? Echo Mines. Danica entrance. That's different. That's on the other side of town. I say this as it cannot possibly be where we're at though, right? It stands about 8 feet tall and faded wood with the touristy Wild West font placard that the county commissioned a couple of years ago. The sign's only readable because our headlights are right on it. The original solar face lights have been destroyed by junkies a year ago. Leo thins his lips, driving right past it. The minute passes and it becomes increasingly difficult to place exactly where we are. On this side of town, I can see the smoke from earlier clearly too. The smell like burnt charcoal seeps into the cabin through the AC. Leo, can I drive? I have better eyes for night stuff. No offense, of course. Leo says nothing, though the wolf begins to pull off to the side of the road, only to flip around and go the other way again. Jenna lets out a strange sigh. It's laden with her common exasperation, but there's a slight quiver in her vocal cords. We keep going, and more time passes. Daxon mutters something I can't quite make out to Carl, who has oddly been silent, his paws over his face. I occasionally catch Chase look at me in the rear view mirror. Despite his shit with the spider bite, he looks more, well, animated than I've seen him in a long time. There's a lot less staring off into the distance and more active grimacing, muttered soft, coarse swears, and darting eyes. I never realized how yellow his eyes are before. Were they always that bright? More time passes as we round a bend and Jenna crawls halfway onto the mid-seat console and points ahead. That's where Duke and Chase's car was. It's not there now. How can you tell? Daxon keeps craning his neck to see past me. The corner looks familiar, but where's the car? I remember that thing. Its silhouette was outlined against that group of pinon trees by the guardrail. TJ makes a whining noise. I recognize it too. There's no broken glass, tire marks, or blood though. Absolutely no remnant of the memory to be found. God. There's nothing there. Don't worry. He, of course, is directing these reassurances solely to Chase. His tone is a bit soft. It's almost oohing, treating Chase like a child. That's what's making us worried, you hollow-headed bitch. Leo doesn't react right away. Then, out of the corner of my eye, he slowly begins to turn his head to look directly at me. It's fucking bizarre. He just stares, his gaze like a goddamn plastic doll's. Flynn, just don't interact. Oh, jeez. I'm just gonna watch the mountains. Let us know if they decide to flip around. He lets out a dry, terrified chuckle. Jenna returns to her seat, her eyebrows scrunched. It's like we're stuck in some kind of loop. Jenna gives Dax an inquisitive look, seemingly baffled anyone could find humor in this. What? It's just, well, it's nothing. Go on, we got time, apparently. Yeah, exactly, I mean, he exhales, shaking his head. In Adastra, Carl groans, his displeasure muffled by his paws over his face. Some kind of was always the go-to line of Captain Amicus whenever he encountered something he didn't quite understand. Leans his back and his bald noggin pushing into the rear headset. Some kind of alien transporter, some kind of time paradox, some kind of matter replicator, some kind of reproductive goo, and so on. And that helps us how? Well, I don't think it does. It's just sort of funny, I guess. It's like I'm in an episode with a group of wacky characters. Wacky, huh? Jenna responds monotone as she returns her focus into the window. I'm just really glad I'm not alone. No one speaks after that. As the truck engine pulls us up another hill, I see something coming to view through a clearing of cacti. Oh, fuck me gently. Echo mine. Danica entrance. No. TJ whines. Leo slows down more and more until we come to a gentle stop. We sit there in silence, staring at the faded text and gravel trail that leads into the canyon ahead. Leo starts muttering darkly to himself, looking out the windows and at the dashboard. I don't ask him if he's okay. I know what the answer is. TJ continues to make soft whimpering sounds like he's trying not to cry. It's okay. It's just dark and we're going off-road somehow. Leo whispers whatever comes to mind to explain what the fuck is happening. Carl still has his head down and his paws completely quiet. He could be asleep for all I know. I think about suggesting that maybe we should just wait it out until morning in this car, but as I open my mouth I hear scratching noises towards the back of the car. TJ's ears pick up, which let me know that I'm not the only one. Instinctively I turn around in my seat. Bits of glass fly into my face, and the next thing I know I'm down in my seat, head down with my rifle raised towards the hole. Get down! Carl ducks and Jenna and TJ lurch away to their respective sides of the car, TJ accidentally opening the car door and nearly tumbling out. Close the door, close the door, close the door! Carl managed to get a hold of the links, trying to tug him back upright as TJ cries, flailing about. I can't get a good shot. Carl's big head is bobbing up and around us as something moves around outside towards the newly opened car door. A shot rings out, though not from me. A wide-eyed looking Jenna holds out a smoking pistol up and fires again. The sharp crack reverberates through the cabin once more. Carl, very much awake now, slams TJ's door shut and screams at Leo. Go, go, go! Leo's already on it, and I feel the car jolt forward. Then I'm bouncing up and down in my seat as we go off-road, Leo not bothering with a three-point turn this time, instead going a full U-turn. We're back in the asphalt and speeding down the road when I feel it's safe enough to raise my head back up and look about the back window. For a moment, I'm terrified that I'm going to find that thing crouched on the trunk, staring at it. But instead, all I see is a giant hole through the back window, the remaining glass jagged. Oh God, are you guys okay? Daxton looks back and forth between us and the road behind the van. Chase, meanwhile, looks like he's about to throw up again. His mucilate features scrunch in a tight grimace as he shivers with fear and otherwise general unwellness. I sit up fully, keeping my sights trained on the back. Yeah! I yelled at him over the sound of the car and the wind whistling behind me. Jenna, did you get it? I don't know. Carl is bent over the seat, brushing glass from his hat and hoodie. I took a look at DJ, who's crouched over in his own seat, covering his head, bits of glass scattered on his back and head. I pick up some of the pieces out from his fur and his neck and lean over him. TJ, are you alright? TJ shudders and doesn't say anything as Jenna plucks some of the shards from his under his collar. What was that? Daxton shouts back at us, staring through the window. Fuck if I know! I don't want to think about it, but I actually think it was. I just need to be ready if it comes at us again. Leo keeps high speed, hitting some of the potholes hard enough that I'm worried we're going to get a flat. Then we be in some real deep shit. We drive on for another 5 minutes in silence, and then the sign appears in front of us again. This time, no one says anything, and Leo doesn't bother turning around. I watch out of my window as we fly past the historic path, but nothing happens. All I see is a tall piece of wood with the broken lights, and all I hear is the wind whipping around us. Jenna keeps a paw on TJ's back as he remains hunched over, the other still holding Duke's pistol. Carl sits quietly, staring at the window. On the bright side, the bastion back window has diminished the smell of sick but the smoke smell is stronger than ever. Spare dots of light show up in the horizon, indicating where Echo is. That's when Leo speaks up. How about we head back to my house? You guys can get some sleep while Chase and I figure out what to do next. Leo pauses, waiting for an answer. What? Sure. I'd rather not meet the same fate as that guy on the blanket. Yeah, I reckon this sounds... I shift myself onto one knee in the seat, the old thing creaking under my weight. I have to hunch low so my head isn't smushed against the ceiling, quietly praying that Leo doesn't hit any serious bumps on the road. There's a sinking feeling in my stomach at the thought of going back to Echo. Part of me wonders where Duke and Chase's cars are still here. And we just imagined that whole grisly scene. Oh god, I see it now. He's like right here. I stare out my window watching the hills slowly by under the moonlight as we turn into the Lake Emma Road. Maybe taking one of the mountain roads out of the town would be worth it, whether we'd had enough gas when it happens. A crouched figure sits on the peak of the hill just about 50 feet from where we are. I squint at it, just barely able to make out what looks like shoulders and a head hunched up under the light of the moon. Oh shit! I'm directly across from the thing when I open my mouth. But I'm barely able to make a sound when it moves. It dashes down the hill in the blink of an eye, covering the distance between it and our car in a matter of seconds. One moment I'm staring at a tiny black figure, the next it's right up against the car, smashing into the side between the door and Jenna's. My head smacks into the glass and I see a flash of white. At the same time I hear Jenna shout out at us to hold on. TJ screams, Carl yells. We crash. The lake. I watch as water begins to pull through the broken windows, the jagged glass getting carried in with the flow. The van is already halfway submerged. We crashed in the fucking lake. How can that be? We were nowhere near it. The water is shockingly cold and rising up to my knees. TJ yelps something incomprehensible. I see Leo thrashing with his seatbelt, trying to get unbuckled as the car battery shorts out and the cabin lights go dark. Carl! The hyperventilating ram splashes about behind. I can't open my door. I can hear the sound of door handles being yanked. I grab my own and press the unlock button and push outward. But the pressure of the water is too much and it doesn't budge. I try to wrangle my rifle to the butt of the glass, but my seat got pushed too far up in the impact. I can barely move with my chest pushed up against the dashboard. Straining to wriggle free, I end up scraping my head along the roof. Piece of shit! God damn my stupid lanky ass. Carl, use your head. I don't know what to do, dude. The horns! Do the ram thing! I realize what Daxton's trying to say. Fucking species feature. Go, Carl! Oh, okay. There's a shuffling movement followed by a hard slam. The glass shatters and more water comes rushing in. There's a flurry of movement out my window as first Jenna, then Carl, then TJ go through the window. Soon the water's up to my nostrils and my blood goes cold. I remember my uncle telling me something after we watched a movie like Seen This. Until the pressure is equalized, you can't open the door. It doesn't stop me from wrenching on my handle regardless. Whoa. I push my maw up to the roof and take a large breath before fully submerging. The metal underbelly of the van scrapes against the rocks and the lake floor, which makes a downright horrifying sound underwater. With one hard push, my door finally opens and I begin to squeeze my way out. I look over my shoulder to see the faint outline of rust-colored fur in the back of the van. Leo seemingly trying to get Chase. My lungs begin to burn as I realize I can't see the surface. I kick my legs trying to push off the slimy lake bed. The pressure of my eardrums are like drills pushing into my skull. The seconds pass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And finally, I breach the surface. After a moment, the water splashes and Chase and Leo emerge from the depths. Leo, I'm a fucking otter. I'm fine. Guys. Carl pants, the ram appearing to be clutching one paws onto TJ's shoulder to keep afloat. He can't really swim well thanks to his hooves. TJ looks to be struggling to keep their chins both above the waterline. Where's Dude Man? What? Daxton! I don't know. Did anyone see where that thing went? We need to get out of the water. It can't be in here. I know. It can be in here with us. I know it. TJ's voice sounds like a mix of whisper and a shout. Please! His voice cracks like a 12-year-old as he stutters from a mixture of cold water and shock. I look around the mass of bobbing heads that surround me, but neither Daxton or whatever attacks us is in sight. In fact, land is about 100 yards away. How in the fuck? Daxton! Dax! Carl, you need to stop yelling. Jenna's tone is hushed but firm, with the wet fennec looking like a soggy mop in the moonlight. I notice a glint of steel and realize she's still holding on to Duke's gun. I left mine in the lake floor. TJ's right. We need to get to shore. There's a coldness in the voice, one controlled by fear. It takes her a moment to realize that she's saying something. What she's saying, and a horrible contortion of worry and guilt crosses her soaked features. Chase, can you get him? I don't know. I don't know. No way. You're in no condition. TJ's looking down, opening his mouth to speak, but nothing but whimpers escapes him. Fucking hell, he's still probably all the way down in the van. We gotta get him. He's a salamander, right? I know his kind can hold their breath a little longer than we can. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck he dwaddle, though. Chase, you're the only fucker who can hold their breath long. He can barely breathe as it is, Flynn. I'll do it. Carl pushes him off TJ. I sink like a stone anyway. Is he stupid? I swiftly doggle paddle my way over and grabbing the ram's arm and forcing it around my shoulder. Yeah, you fucking will. And how's your stone ass gonna get back to the top? I think I can't. No, we need to get you to shore. I noticed Leo's paws wrapped around Chase's wrist, preventing the otter from diving. Daxton's down there, and everyone's acting like a complete bag of assholes. God, fuck it! Carl, try not to sink. The ram blinks as I push away from him, but then nods in understanding. Oh, I'll be fine. Jesus, good luck, man. I take a deep breath, rolling my shoulders forward and begin diving down. I have to fight my body's natural buoyancy to keep from returning to the surface. I kick hard. I make myself open my eyes, and the first thing that hits me is how dark it is. Here I am, forcing myself to go deeper into the frigid nothingness, and like I know what the hell I'm doing. The pressure builds up again and around my skull. I don't have time to acclimate or any other of that diver shit. I'm tall, and this should be easy. I just need to grab onto the van. It wasn't that far down. Was it? Except I don't see the van. What I do see are the blues of Daxton's eyes staring at me through the murk. I can't even see the rest of him. I wave, hoping the fluorescent orange markings on my body are enough to get his attention. My lungs are starting to burn, and I have an increasing urge to open my mouth and breathe in the water. No response, just the eyes. I swim closer, and the eyes seem to get bigger. Finally, I see the outline of Daxton. He's just floating there, not doing anything. I reach out to him, and a flurry of bubbles escape his maw. He's screaming, veins bulging along the sides of his neck. The salamander swats at me, his slick skin sliding out of my grasp every time I try to grab him. I can't bear it anymore. I have to come up for air. I manage to snag one of my claws on his stupid planet shirt, and I tug hard. He thrashes, kicking me and screaming into the void. It feels like I'm pulling him into it. Is that what he sees? He can't see anything at all. I'm starting to feel faint, and pounding of my heart in my chest, deafening already the muffled cries of Daxton. This is all so familiar. Clenching my eyes shut, I scoop at the water like I'm climbing a mountain, legs kicking like crazy. Don't pass out. Don't you fucking pass out. What seems like a geyser out of water splashes up in front of us. I gasp, straining for air. I find myself in an inadvertent embrace with Daxton, our bodies shivering together. Where the shit did that voice come from? As quickly as I embrace, Daxton shoves himself off me, jolting free. His gaze is wild and with terror. He writhes within the water as if some terrible force that's nipping away at him beneath the surface. The salamander takes off, swimming as fast as he could towards the shoreline. I think he's got the right idea. Come on. He follows suit, though I'm having some trouble keeping up. My arms feel like jello. Unsurprisingly, Daxton's the first to shore, then Jenna, TJ, Carl, Leo, Chase, and finally me. All my adrenaline is completely tapped out, and at that point, I fall to my knees in the sand. Daxton clearly trying to put some distance between him and the lake, though not going too far as to be out of sight line with the rest of us. He paces back and forth, jittery. Oh my god. I can't believe you actually rescued him. I grunt, trying to rub what feels like lake gunk out of my eyes. Daxton stops. The hell were you doing there? Trying to save you. His tone is intense, so I'm clearly trying to reconcile whatever the hell happened back there. The hell you were? That's what I was doing. I thought I saw you drift off further down into the lake. You weren't moving. Anytime I try to grab you, you just drift further off. A ways with your back facing me. Eventually, I couldn't see you anymore. It was too dark. He rubs his hands over his biceps, rapidly trying to warm himself. Did you hear the voice too? No, there wasn't any noise in the water, but water rushing around my head. He exhales. looking briefly at Carl, then back at me. I'm sorry, I panicked. When you touched me down there, I didn't realize it was you. You were all red. Red? At first, and then when I flipped my shit, I guess until we hit the surface, you were there and I got overwhelmed and you hugged me. He cocks his head slightly. Pretty sure you're the one who was hugging me. Don't think so. I did. You swear you didn't hear a voice? He holds up the flat of his palms, shaking his head. I swear it, man. Out of all the surreal whatnots that's been transpiring, voices ain't one of them. I frown. Daxton looks back towards the water, then backs up a few more paces. I'm not just imagining things, am I? Fucking hell. Chase seems to be trying to uncoil himself from Leo, his breath wheezy, and soon breaks out into a raspy cough. Leo quickly wraps his arms around him, patting his back gently with one of his massive paws. Easy, easy. We're safe now. The fuck we are! I peer around. Even with my eyes adjusted in the dark, I still have a hell of a time seeing beyond 20 yards or so. Jenna gives me a quick nod, holding up Duke's pistol to show me that she still has it. Then the soaked Fennec would look comical were it not for the direness of the situation. She must put up so much conditioner in her fur to keep it that fluffy. Whoa, that's 2 saves now, dude. Carl proceeds to fall flat on his back, spread eagle in the sand, his hefty gut rising and falling. You're pretty good at the crazy land stuff. He sounds so casual about it, like this is one of his video games. I'm sorry, I'm somehow not getting my ass kicked. Come on, everyone, let's get a move on. He didn't deserve. TJ mumbles something. The Lynx sitting with his arms around his knees, staring out in the lake.